Hi guys, today we'll cover the Caro-Kann defense. The Caro-Kann defense is one of the most commonly played openings in chess, which is played along the lines of e4, c6, but here normally grabbing space in the center, and our reply move is d5. So this whole idea is called the Caro-Kann defense, and here as white we have two options. One is to advance our pawn and one is to take his pawn. So here let's explore both the options. First, let's explore advancing the pawn. So after e5, here we play the crucial break c5. The idea being you want to break his pawn structure as soon as possible. And let's say white plays a move like takes. Then we have e6 followed by knight d7 attacking both their pawns. So here we get the compensation for both our pawns, and white center is kind of disoriented and our development is fast as well. Here development includes first grabbing this or this pawn, and then let's say something like knight f3 at d7 and something like this. And so over here the whole idea of black is to play b6 and prepare bishop b7. Let's say white castles, now we play bishop b7. Our bishop belongs to this diagonal since it had been locked down by the knight from this one. So here we continue on with the game, and this is a very pleasant position for black with the bishop pair. So now let's see the case if white doesn't take here. Let's say white plays a normal move like c5 attacking our center. Then here we first play e6 again guarding, and let's say another move, and we attack here by taking their d4 pawn, because now it forces them to either take the pawn with their knight, in which case we do normal development, and we want to take off their developed pieces off the board as soon as possible. Or if they take with their queen, it's even better because it allows us to develop the knight with a tempo, forcing their queen to go back. So this is one of the ideas. Now after d5, let's say white chooses to take our pawn. Over here the idea is pretty simple. We first take back, and normally over here white will try to transform it into a queen's gambit and play c4. So here I would recommend playing e6 being solid and consolidate the position by playing knight f6, e6, knight c3 and bishop b4 in the future. So these are some of the ideas of the Caro-Kann, and we have seen two main alternatives. Now one more idea I would like to recommend is, if he takes and we take and they play c4, a good move here is knight f6, because if they take and we take with our knight, here they don't have an e-pawn to attack our knight, and so we can consolidate later on by, let's say, playing e6 and then bishop b4, getting quick development. This helps us a lot. So this is another important thing. As usual, we put our bishop on b7 where it targets the big diagonal. Now here white can choose to not do anything with his pawn and just play a normal developing move like knight c3. Over here our main idea is to first take the pawn, forcing their knight to play another move in the opening, followed by bishop f5. The idea here being you're making his knight move more than twice in the opening, and as you've seen in one of my previous videos where I've talked about the climb from 2000 to 2100, I have said that moving a piece in the opening is not a good objective, and here you're forcing your white knight to move thrice, which is quite the advantage for you, and you just put your bishop in the back. Your whole idea now is to put your knight on f6, pawn on e6, bishop on d6 and castle. In an ideal world your position would look like this. Let's say black plays bishop e3, you play e6, knight development, and castles. This would be an ideal position for you, and your objective must be to play knight d7 followed by rook e8 and break with e5, because you have a lead in development here and your bishops are in pretty good positions, whereas if you see, his bishops are pretty clammed. So here black, in my objective, can play for a win. Thank you for watching. These are some of the lines of the Caro-Kann that I've covered.